Bookworms. Today I'm going to be showing my 15 favourite books that I read last year from 2021. And also I did an incredibly large number of 169 reviews last year, which is very cool as I just started a new review book as well last year, and it's very impressive to me. I'm very proud of that. So let's get straight into today's video. So the first one I'm going to say was one of my favourite books from last year is Ted Hughes' The Iron Man. I really enjoyed this book and it was funny, but also it was sad at some points. But if you like happy and sad books, I would definitely recommend this one. And I would definitely recommend the film as well. I know we don't really talk about films on here, but I've watched a film of this and it's really good. So if you are interested in watching that and reading this, then I'll definitely recommend it. So the book is quite different to the film, but everyone's still scared of the Iron Man either way, and the little boy still helps him become friends, which I think is really nice both ways, and I think that is just friendship forever. The next book I'm going to talk about from last year is Roald Dahl's Matilda, illustrated by Quentin Blake. Well, this was a great book. Like, I could read this 100 billion times in a day if I could. Even if I was like Matilda, I would read it more than that, but okay. I love Miss Honey, but especially Matilda, as I don't want to say in case you haven't read it, so mystery. Ooh. And Miss Trunchbull. Oh, I can't talk about Miss Trunchbull for long. Miss Trunchbull is the meanest teacher I've ever heard of. If I was in a school like that, I would just say, "Mummy, can you get me out of here and get me to a different school, please? Thank you." But because I can't talk about Miss Trunchbull for long, I'll talk about Miss Honey. So Miss Honey is the exact opposite of Miss Trunchbull. She is the nicest teacher I've ever heard of, and I would like her as my own teacher if I could. But also, Matilda is the best reader ever. I would be good pairs with her as reading buddies. So if you love reading and like watching films, you could read the book and the film somewhere. So I would definitely recommend this book as if you love reading and bit of magic, you could definitely read this book and film. So I think you'll enjoy both of them. The next book I'm going to talk about is M G Lenard's Twitch. Can a bird watch her outwit an escaped convict? I read this for my book club book a few months ago, and Twitch is a bird watcher, but he gets bullied at school because not a lot of people like him. I'm going to read the blurb as this was a long time ago book, but I will still read it. Twitch has 3 pet chickens, 4 pigeons, swallows nesting in his bedroom, and a passion for bird watching. On the first day of the summer holidays, he arrives at his secret hive to find police everywhere. A convicted robber has broken out of prison and is hiding in Avewood. Can Twitch use his talents for bird watching and hunt for the dangerous prisoner and find a missing loot? So if you like mystery stories, you definitely enjoy this one, as it's full of mystery, and if you like bird watching and birds and nature, this is the book for you. As Twitch has bullied at school, I really don't like that, but as Twitch is trying to save other people, he's trying to find out if the people who bully him have said anything, seeming as they are looking quite suspicious at the moment. But will Twitch find the convict? So hold on a second. I know it's January, but it's a preview from last year's books. We got 2 Christmas books here. But this first one, oh my god, it's just filled with magic. It's called A Boy Called Christmas by Matt Haig, and the illustrations by Chris Mould. This, I could pretend it's Christmas every day and read it. This is just a brilliant book. Also, now I made you a film. It's full of elves, magic, boy called Nicholas. Well, okay, boy called Christmas, and mouse called Mika. Also with a reindeer called, I could tell you what his name because it won't spoil a lot of things. His name is Watson. Dun, dun, dun. Basically, Nicholas's father is has gone to try and find some hope for Finland because they've all lost it, and Nicholas has to come and stay with Aunt Carlotta, and she's really mean to Nicholas, and so then he's fed up of her bossing him around and sleeping in the cold nights like snow. So he goes up to this mythical land called Eltham to find his father and take him home. But will he ever make it to Eltham in time or anything? So if you read this book and you enjoy the book, you'll enjoy the film as well. Some bits are funny in it, but some bits are not funny in it. Some bits are sad, but it's full a lot of impossible things. It says in blood. You are about to read a true story of Father Christmas. If you believe that some things are impossible, you should put this book down right away, because this book is full of things. Are you still reading? Good. Then let us begin. The reason why I whispered impossible was because it's an elsewhere word. An old elsewhere word, but we can still think it's an elsewhere word still. So at the beginning as well, it says an old elsewhere word. Dun dun dun. I got a letter from Father Christmas the other day. Yeah, last year, and it said, well, it says you're about to read the true story of Father Christmas on the back, but Father Christmas said, leaving them all at least because he's too old to remember it, but all the stories that are made together make him real, and without these stories about Father Christmas, wouldn't make him real. So I guess this book means a lot to me, you know, as it's one of the first Christmas books I read about Father Christmas and to believe in the impossible. So this book really means a lot to me. So the second Christmas book comes up, eh? Now we've got a bit of Clarice Bean, Think Like an Elf by Lauren Child. Now, are you ready to laugh your heads off? I bet you are, because this is just the right book to do that. Seeing it as on every page you can almost find everything that's funny. For example, this. I have also made a list of the things I'd like for Christmas, and this is it. A piano music, a pair of roller skates, Ruby Redfoot long distance secret agent walkie-talkie, a fish tank, some fish food, snow. That is a very good example, and I'm just trying to find this really funny bit, seeming as this is, there it is. I'm wondering what gift tag Betty would like most. Probably an elf on a toadstool. When I hear Mum calling up the stairs in a stretched voice, does anyone know what has happened to the turkey? It is not in a shed fridge. And of course I am frozen with panic, so I go a bit quiet and pretend I haven't heard her. Mum said, Marcy, have you seen the turkey? Marcy, what turkey? Mum, what do you mean, what turkey? The Christmas turkey. Do you know where it has got to? Marcy, no. Mum, Kurt, why would I know what has happened to the turkey? I'm a vegetarian. Mum, Meinl, have you seen a turkey? Meinl, yes. Mum, where is it? Meinl, I don't know. Mum, where did you last see it? Meinl, when it was on the floor. Mum, what? Meinl, on the floor. Mum, what was he doing on the floor? Meinl, being eaten by cement. Mum, cement ate the whole turkey. Oh, sorry, cement is dead. Meinl, no, the fox ate half. Mum, what fox? Meinl, the one who comes into the kitchen. Mum, Meinl, can we please return to planet Earth for 2 minutes? Meinl, but when did you see the turkey on the floor? Meinl, yesterday when Clarice was locked in the toilet, and by the way, she nibbled on a lemon drizzle cake. Silence, and then, Clarice Bean! But I've already climbed inside the airing cupboard and I'm closing the door and hardly taking a breath. So that is why it is funny. I bet you're already laughing. I am laughing too, actually. There is a whole series of Clarice Bean. I've got all the other 3 books, and I think they are hilarious as well. So if you definitely like this few readings of this book, you would definitely like the rest of the series, this book, and also if you were interested in reading the Ruby Redfoot books, they are also actually by Lauren Child and actually real books. So if you're interested in reading that, go ahead. Because now that's Christmas out of the way with, now we're going on to just the rest of the year books. So this was one of my favourite Pizazz books last year by Sophy Henn. It's called Pizazz versus the New Kid. And I've already said it before, so I won't say it again. This is hilarious as well. Same as Clarice Bean. I'll try and find a little funny bit for you. Like the sock collection. Best slouchy sock collection. The classic. The stinker. The stripy. The check. The dotty. The holy. The shrunk in a wash. The best slouchy sock collection ever. So that is why it's funny as well. And it's also just hilarious. Like, well, eye roll, classic eye roll, and when I eventually got to class and everyone seemed to be staring at me more than they usually do, I had a bit of a panic, so I went through my checklist. Clothes, no breakfast on face. Kate not tucked into knickers. What was wrong with everyone? Ivy came over as soon as she saw me with a face that sort of looked like worried and really happy all at the same time. Ivy told me that the new kid was starting today, and then her face looked worried. So I told her about my chat with Bernard and how I had realised that we should definitely make friends with the new kid, because if anyone knew what it was like to be super around here, it was me. So there was there's two really there's three I think it was perfect, I'm not quite sure, but there were three girls who are a group, and they really mean to Pizazz because she's a superhero, but Pizazz always tries to fight them off, and maybe succeeds, maybe she doesn't. I'm also going to read you the blurb. Hello, my name is Pizazz and I'm a superhero. You probably think that's really awesome. While it can be, it's also really annoying. Like when this new kid started school, who also happened to be a super cool jet. Even though she's instantly super cool and super popular, there should still be room for two supers around here, right? Wrong, because Serena, not my biggest fan, decided we should have a super wolf. Great, I mean, what could go wrong? I don't know. So I would definitely recommend the whole Pizazz series. And also, before this series came out, there was a series called Banana, which was very, very, very funny. I have had a podcast chat with Sophy Henn, and if you haven't seen all my videos, before last year, I had a YouTube video about Sophy Henn, so if you want to check that out, you can read all about Sophy Henn and all the books she has. So this is the first Rainbow Grey book so far, as the next one is coming out in March. This is by Laura Ellen Anderson and the best-selling creator of Amelia Fang. This is a brilliant book. I absolutely love it, as Rainbow Grey finally learns what her weather power is, because she lives up in the clouds where everyone has weather powers, like her friend. What's her name? I'm not quite sure what she was, but I definitely know she has rain, and then her other friend has snow, and then she has. And you'll find more about that in the book, as you can clearly guess by her name. But there are other ones as well, seeming as that. She has a little cloud called Nim, and that's that little cat cloud they're standing on. I think it's the cutest cloud ever. If I could just cuddle him forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. I could sleep on him. I could use him as a blanket. He's so fluffy. But he does explode. Without warning. So it could be a bit dangerous. So I'm just going to quickly read it about. The world needs a rainbow like never before. 10-year-old Ray Gray wishes she had magic like her friends. Life in the Riverlands just isn't the same without it. But then a forbidden trip to Earth turns everything Ray not thought she knew about herself upside down. Ray must dig deep to find her inner power, battle new enemies, and let her true colours shine. So, if you like magic, the weather, more magic and exploding clouds, call them. And you will definitely enjoy this book if you like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, all 4 of those things. Then, yeah, read it. As it is very interesting and very cool. I have done a chat with Laura Ellen Anderson on my podcast and also on my YouTube channel, so you can go and check that out, and we talk all about Rainbow Grey, as that would be amazing to check out to see what more about Rainbow Grey and the next book. So now this next book is going back to Halloween, even further than Christmas. And it's called The Bewitching of Aveline Jones by Phil Hickes. And this is the second of the series. So Aveline is on holiday with her mother and staying in a small cottage. And she's living by a stone circle, which is very cool and mystical. But when she meets a new friend, Hazel Brown, she is transported somewhere else. But can she fix things before time runs out? As this is very mystical, very spooky, definitely good for Halloween, and very filled with stone circles. If you like all 4 of those things, then yes. I also like Harold in it as well, because he is Aveline's friend. But Harold is also a bit of a warrior, I'm sure I remember, because he lives in a bookshop, which is very interesting. And I would like to live in a bookshop. I'll just read books for ages and ages and ages. That's what I do. Yeah. So if you like spookiness, stone circles, Halloween time, and also a bit of mystical stuff, definitely read that book. Now, to move on to Harley, Hitch and the Iron Forest by Vashti Hardy and illustrated by George Ermus. I think that's how I pronounce it. Sorry if I pronounce that wrong. Harley Hitch is a very good engineer, as she lives in a place where they invent things, but this mysterious fungus is taking up the forest and getting rid of all their stuff. And without the Iron Forest, they can't live without it. Otherwise, they won't be able to make things, and Inventia won't be alive anymore. But as Harley tries to fix it with her dog, I can't remember what her little dog's name was. Oh, Sprocket, that's it. Sprocket. So Harley and her dog Sprocket all try and look for the Iron Forest to try and fix things with her friend Cosmo. And this book really means a lot to me with Cosmo, because I'm a warrior a lot, and Cosmo is a warrior too, and that just really means a lot to me. There's not many people out there are such as warriors, but I know there are people out there who do worry, and it's like we've got our own little worry group, you know? It just feels nice to know someone who worries as much as I do, and it's just nice to read about them. it makes me feel better. Even if they're fiction, it just makes me happy. As well, I'm not the only one, which just means a lot. So that's why I chose that one from last year. Now, this is one of the most precious books to me from last year, which is I Go Quiet by David Quimet. I'm just going to quickly read a blurb for you. I Go Quiet is the exquisite story of an introvert girl struggling to find her place in a noisy world. Through the power of books, creativity and imagination, she begins to see the possibilities for herself beyond the present, to a future where her voice will finally be heard. And this book reminds me a lot about myself, as I can go quiet sometimes. I can, I can talk, and then all of a sudden I'll go silent. Anywhere. I could do that at school, here, anywhere. I could just disappear somewhere else. But this, I can't go too much into this, otherwise I will get too overwhelmed. But if this book is about not just going quiet, it's just that you don't feel like you belong anywhere, and that's how I feel sometimes. As you know, I don't feel like as much as the others. I don't feel okay. Like, I don't feel okay all the time. I'm not like all the others. I just, sometimes I feel like I don't belong places, and that's what this book is about. And if you know someone who has that feelings, then you could recommend this book, because I would do it. I would recommend that book to everyone who feels out of place sometimes. And this book, it's a lot to me, as it feels like I'm not the only one who doesn't belong anywhere. It's just lovely to read about it and find all the other children who are struggling and hard working as well, trying so hard to try and find a place to belong. And that's what I'm trying to do. And it's just lovely to find out about other children who do that and do it, but they will eventually find somewhere to belong. And last year I met David Quimet himself, and that was just one of the best moments of last year. So this book means a lot to me. Now, on to the last 5 books. Now, I can't really show you this book as it's very, very big, but we were very, very lucky to get this from our Australian friends, and it's called Bluey Sleepytime. And this is also a cartoon on Disney Plus, also on CBeebies. But it is hilarious, even on TV and a book. And Vega has a dream where she gets up and walks about, and one of the funniest bit is that when this bit where wait, what was it? I can't completely find it, so I'll just give up trying because it's going to be But this is the end page about this is the bit at the end where she actually joins Bluey in that dream, where they are running on Dad's back. He's laying down like that, and then they're just like running on it, and then they're jumping on him, and it's just hilarious. So if you like hilarious books and sad books and sad cartoons and also funny cartoons, read it, watch it, love it. Now we're down to 4. There's a Ghost in This House by Oliver Jeffers. Now this is just a beautiful book. And look, there's she's trying to look for ghosts, but when you turn the page, look, ghosts are hiding, and then ghosts are up there, and ghosts are everywhere. And then I think this page is pretty clever because they've got that, and then they got the mouse. This is pretty clever. But I just love this book with all the see-through pages, with all the drawings of the ghosts on them. And I like how they're when she's looking under the bed, they're jumping on it, and then once she checks on top of the bed, they're doing it under. So I really recommend this book if you like see-through pages and ghosts. This book means a lot to last year, as it's called Race Cars by Jenny Devenny, LCSW. I hope I pronounced that right. As it's about racism. Because it has a race, but I'm just going to read a bit of it. Whilst at the top of the mountain, a race officer stopped him. "Pull over, please. I need to see some identification." Chase paused a second. That's strange, he thought. None of the white cars seemed to be getting stopped. But he did not waste any more time. He showed the officer his identification and continued to race through the magical forest. Chase sped around the river as fast as he could and jumped over the finish line. But because the race officer stopped him, Chase did not place, and Ace came first instead. Chase was happy for Ace, but they were both upset about Chase's race. They loved to race and did not care about place, but the committee had just announced a new rule. Cars that did not take place this year could no longer race next year. Next year, Chase would not be allowed to race. So it's about this. So it's where all these white cars are fighting against the black cars and all the different cars that are not white. But there's the youngest committee, Grace, is that think is mean all along, and then other people are starting to notice it too. So basically about the white car going against the black cars, and the black cars not getting as much as the white cars do. But this is also happening in real life, but other people are fighting against it, so it won't happen, which is good. Because we should all be treated the same, because it doesn't matter whoever you are, as long as you're kind and helpful and all the nice, good things, then we should all be treated the same. We should respect other people's beliefs. We should, help other people who are in trouble or just do good deeds and be a good guys for once. Now we have The Rainbow Maker by Holly Wadsworth-Hill and illustrated by yourself. So this book is basically where all the pictures are missing. Well, not in this book because I illustrated it, and you have to illustrate the book of what you think. So what you've got to do is that I'll read you the first page and then I'll show you what to do. Rainbow makeup, knock, flutter, knock, comes the sound outside from outside. I peer out of the window, my eyes open wide. Out on the street in broad daylight, there stands a fairy, tall and bright, with eyes so keen and a smile so true, that hair so long and shiny and blue. It's tapping a foot and humming a tune, carrying a wand and a red balloon. There's something else that seems to miss. I've never seen it look like this. The sky's grey, the ground is black, the sun is replaced by one giant crack. I tilt my head and wonder why, when in flies the fairy with an impatient sigh. You can't have heard me knocking, the cross fairy said. My mouth is dry and my cheeks are red. Am I excited? Well, I'm not really sure. I've never seen a real life fairy before. Sorry to flutter in like that, the fairy says, a whisper. The temperature drops and the air turns crisper. I need your help urgently, you see. And the fairy's face, quite serious, stares at me. Have you seen how dark it is out there? The colour has disappeared somewhere. I've got my wand, but it's not enough. Only a child can fix something this tough. But you're fairy! The words fly out, because what on earth is fairy on about? So what you've got to do is that you've got to read the writing and then you've got to draw the picture of what you imagine. And here are my drawings to the pictures. And it's where all the red comes down. No, like when the red colour adds, and then when they add orange colour, and they add yellow colour, and they add green colour, and they add blue. When they add the blue colour, and then this is the last page. So, if you like drawing, then you would definitely like this book, as you could read it and then draw the pictures, which is quite a nice thing to do, as not many books have pictures, blank pictures for you to draw, and you could just imagine what you want to draw. And it's all about imagining. This is also a reason why it went on to my 2021 list, is because this is dedicated to me. This is why I just love all of Holly's books, as they're just so wonderful and you get your imaginations to come to life. Now, for the final one. Once Upon a Mermaid's Tale by my wonderful friend Beatrice Blue. And I was so lucky last year, as I didn't just have one dedicated book. I had 2 dedicated books. And this is one of them. As it's just so wonderful to read a book like this. The illustrations are just beautiful. I love all the fishies. I love the end paper. I like this little fish at the end, and he's facing the opposite direction to all the others. I think that's pretty funny. This one reminds me of a half-cut orange with a little bit sticking out. And all of the fish actually just remind me of something. I know one of them reminds me of a Christmas tree, but I can't find that one right now, so I won't spend too much time looking for it. It's about this like mythical creature called Ocean in a magical shell, but then all of a sudden a shell broken, and he tries to save her. Theodore does, and then I'm not going to say the whole story. I will face it all, but spoiled. But as this is one of my favourite pages, as like just so wonderful. All the lights, all the bubbles. That I do love his transparent coat as well. But just it's beautiful. But what I like best about his boat is that he got this little flag, and this is the saddest little flag. I hope he gets a bad one. It's wonderful as Theodore always loves fishing, but then he realises, well, those little fishies have families too, don't they? So you should return them. So it's just wonderful. All the illustrations, and this is my favourite page. Where he gets a star on his head. And all the fishes are reunited and back into the sea. And he can always just join them whenever he wants to. And I think that's just very nice. But it's just so magical and shiny as well. But it's just lovely. I don't know how to describe it. It's just beautiful and lovely, and all the words I could describe it with, I don't know how. That's how I'm going to do it. Now, that's all the books from 2021, which were my favourites. Now, time to go to 2022. The first book I'm reading is Enola Holmes, The Case of the Cryptic Caroline. Yeah, Crinoline. Here we go. And I'm just going to quickly read you the blurb. While on the run from her brother Sherlock, the world's most famous detective, Enola Holmes, has been hiding in a plain sight lodging with Mrs. Tupper. Mrs. Tupper may be half deaf and a terrible cook, but when she is the closest thing Enola has to family. So when she discovers that her dear landlady has been abducted, Enola is shocked but determined to find out why. Especially when she finds cryptic codes within a crinoline underskirt in Mrs. Tupper's upturned room. But who could have taken Mrs. Tupper? And why do all the clues lead to Florence Nightingale? So, if you like mystery books, read it. And also, this is my book for book club, this for January. And it is just very mystical right now. And it's all it's full of mystery and full of non-magic. Also, I found out Enola is spelled backwards for alone. See, alone. So, it's quite sad, but I can't wait to finish it. So, I think that's it for today's video. And I hope to see you later on in the year. Bye bye.